For
December of 2015. So
okay.
about 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
This is actually my first time in New York, and it's been a great ride. It's been
Really?
pretty cool.
How you liking the city so far?
It's been fun. Besides my ticket, it's been pretty cool. I really can't complain. But I just had a few questions I want to ask you. You can ask me a few questions as well. Like,
Hmm.
so what have you learned just by taking that leap of faith and just going towards like your dream, and just following your gut, really?
I'd say the biggest lesson I've learned is that there's not just one path to get to where you want to go in life. So there's more than one way to go about doing things. So I thought, per se, I came here to pursue acting, that I come here, take classes, then try to get casted, and then audition, and yada, yada, yada. When, especially nowadays, there's a lot of ways you can showcase your talent and gain buzz, and then from there get your opportunities. So I say the biggest thing I learned is that there's more than one way to do things.
Makes sense. I could actually relate to that. Um, from going to being like a preferred walk on to the coaching changes to just saying, you know what, I don't think football is just going to happen, to going back home and then going a whole totally different route, a whole other different division, to actually being able to play football once I actually just took a step back. Like,
Hmm.
there's so many other avenues to get to where you want to. It may not happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen. And which brings me to my other point. Like, do you ever feel like there's anything that holds you back in your life, or is there anything that you're like struggling with?
Um, Honestly, right now, I say that my past mistakes. When I was younger and in high school, I didn't take life quite as seriously. I didn't take school quite as seriously. So I I goofed around a lot, and I feel like that ultimately held me back. Now, seeing as like I don't have the education level that I really need to progress at the speed that I want to progress. So that combined with just mm, lack of motivation, I guess.
What I've learned, especially like growing up as an only child, like we all need people. I mean, you can do whatever you want to on your own, but like when I have somebody in my corner or just someone I can constantly talk to, it motivates the heck out of me.
Hmm.
And what I can say from my experience is the one thing that held me back, or I feel like I'm struggling with, or I did struggle with, was kind of like balancing. So mine was totally different. Like I was like super serious, but I didn't really have as much fun growing up. So like I was just like, this is where I'm going to school, this is what I'm doing. But then when stuff like that doesn't happen, you're like, okay, what the heck is going on? You know, like
Yeah, because you can't account for everything that happens in life. There's no
yeah,
way you can plan for everything. I mean, we do the best we can, but ultimately life has those curveballs, and
yes, yes, and you just have to learn how to
be flexible
yeah, and just bounce back from all those things.
and adjust.
Yeah. So if you could go back to your maybe your 17-year-old self, what would you?
So junior, senior year of high school,
Yeah,
what would I do?
yeah.
Fix my grades. So by the time I was a junior or senior, my GPA wasn't where it was. So I definitely would attack my GPA a lot harder. Try harder to go to prioritize school versus so when I turned 18, 17, around that age, I got a job. I got one of my first jobs, and when I started making money, I was seduced by what little money I was making. So, and I wish I would have prioritized learning, because that's really what life is about now. Even though, we all gonna make money. People I know who work for like American Express makes a lot of money, but it's still that lifelong pursuit of like learning instruments, learning how to cook, or learning multiple languages. So I feel like I would have prioritized being smarter at 17 or 18 versus making money.
Yeah, I think if I can go back to my 17-year-old self, I probably would have talked to more people. Like I was very just like to myself because I really like I was talking.
Really?
Yeah, especially in high school. I was talking to Nate, it's just like I never really felt like I belonged, especially at the school I went to, and I probably just would have left earlier. Like I always felt this gut feeling like I just didn't belong, so probably just would have left. Just like when I decided to leave and come here, I probably just would have left and just followed my dreams at that moment,
Mhm.
and just would have never listened. Just
Left and gone where though? Then you
to another school, or I probably just would have went straight. Instead of going to Pittsburgh, I probably would have just went straight to like. I probably would have never went to Bowling Green. I probably went to a different school. But everything worked out. It's working out now, so I can't really complain too much. But I always just look back like, man, what if I would have did that? But
you can't change the past. Like I try to not to spend too much time thinking about the past because what's done is done.
Right.
So we could learn from where we went wrong or what paths we did take. Not necessarily say that it was the wrong path, but just learn from the outcome of the path we did choose, and we can pass that knowledge down to our kids so that they know what's in store if they do set path.
Yeah.
And also moving forward, do our best to just head in the direction we really want to go. So I was very indecisive. I feel like nowadays, not just nowadays, but I feel like when you're 18 to like 25, I feel like you're very indecisive with what you want out of life and what you truly want from life. I mean, you might have a relationship, you might chase that, or you might feel like you want to go to school to be an anthropologist, and then senior year of college, you're switching your major over to psychology or whatever, trying to hurry up. And so I feel like it's a very indecisive time.
Yeah.
And I think what is best is to just own the choice that you make. Don't kick yourself or beat yourself up with like say, oh, I wasted these years trying to do this.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Just try to learn from it.
What I'm learning too is just instead of saying it's either one or one, just choose everything. You don't necessarily have to just be one thing anymore. Like for me, I went to school for education, but I learned how to code. I learned how to write my own books myself, and I went this whole modeling thing in New York. That's not something I went to school for. It's just something I said I just don't want to be a teacher. I want to go off and do 6 other things, and I feel like when I was younger, it was kind of hard to decide exactly what I wanted to do because you had football, really interested in that. I was modeling with my mom. You got your friends, you got all this stuff going on, and you're like, all right, where do I go? Where do I go? And you just have to figure out what's most important. Then sometimes you can just say, I want to do everything. You just have to prioritize which ones, because you're always going to need a source of income. You need to be happy in life, or you're not going to be able to do your job to the full effect. But I just feel like you can do everything.
I don't really see it as, when you say do your job, I don't really see it as work if it's doing what you want to do. Of course, everybody knows that if you do what you love, it's not really work. But it is in the sense that like you will have to work hard no matter what you choose to do, because part of the things of why you love it is that you can never give up on it. You know what I'm saying? It'll come a point where like you will hate doing what you do, even though like sometimes you may love it. There come the times where you hate it. And it's during those times you say, but I'm not going to give up on it. I'm not going to just quit. I can't see myself doing anything else. So, in those moments, yeah, it will feel like work. But for the most part, I feel like I wouldn't call it a job per se. It's just what I let it is what I do. Yeah.
And it's something that you can do effortlessly and just all day. So what would you say if you had to choose maybe 3 to 5 things, or just one thing that's just not work that you could do forever, like that you just like, this is what I love?
Acting. I would like be in stories or someone else's stories, or write my own stories and act those out and perform them. I would do stage work. Would like work behind the scenes with like the lighting and the settings, and make sure all that is correct. I will do voice work. Anything. I'm very into like storytelling or the art of like just being into stories. So it'd be that. I don't know if that counts as like one thing, but if there was another thing I had to choose, I guess it'd be create video games, which is another form of telling stories if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know. So I would be somehow involved in that.
That's cool. If I would have to choose, it would have to be. I know you can't play sports forever.
Yeah.
But it just never felt like work for me. Football and like.
But who's to say? Just because you're not playing football doesn't mean that you don't have to be like completely separated from that world. So what I'm
coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could coach. You could be an athletic trainer.
Yeah.
You could just be a specific coach for a specific position, like a receiver coach.
I was gonna say I could see myself being a receiver coach or just going into the game after I'm done playing. That's something I could do forever. That just be around that forever. Like I just love it. That modeling, just at my workshop yesterday, they were saying that you can even be a mature model. You can literally do that forever. You just got to keep yourself together. What else? I really just love just about everything I get myself into. But there's just so many things that I just love to do. Like when you grow up drawing and skateboarding and doing all this stuff, just like I want to do everything. So, but football is definitely up there. Modeling is definitely up there. And I love teaching. I love giving back everything that I really have in my mind, and sharing things because, yeah, I just really love doing that. So one last question: is there any like quote that you live by, or anything that you would like to tell a younger Cedric or a younger guy out there that wants to move to New York to go act, or just someone who may be living the same life?
Any quote or saying that I live by?
Yeah. Or there's something that gets you over the hump every time you feel like quitting.
Man, I guess I look at it like this: if the next man can do something, why can't I? So if I'm looking at like a chef on TV, if he can, be a chef on TV and cook exquisite cuisine, why can't I? I can learn just like he can learn. If he can act on TV, why can't I? So I feel like that's something I kind of think about often. If one man can do it, I should be able to do it too.
I'm willing to end on that note. You good with that?
Yeah. So what's the name of your show, man?
It's called TheQuietNorm. It'll be on TheQuietNorm.com, and I've had this website for about 2 years. I just interview people who do cool stuff. This is freaking cool. So, yeah. So Cedric Johnson, do not forget that name. If he keeps on acting, you will see him on TV. So, or play one of his video games. So check out Cedric Johnson. You got any social media?
My Twitter account is Casanova_Ced, and that's also my Instagram, and Facebook is Cedric Johnson.